Hi, my name is Philip Guzman, and I'm the writer, director, and one of the producers on The Lawless.
Hi, my name is Philip Roy, and I'm one of the producers, the DP, and the editor.
My name is David Frost, and I was the sound mixer, boom operator, and scorer for the film. I also did all the sound editing.
The film kind of came into my mind in July, and I went and met with Philip and David, and we talked about the idea, and I told them I wanted to do a cop movie with no cops in it. And they looked at me like, how are you going to do that? And so I kind of told them the idea, and basically from there you get what it is that you have on this DVD. And then you're going to duck down with them. Point two. Basically, we wanted to take all the cop elements out of it and have it very humanized. I started writing, right after I pitched the idea, I already had it structured out and broken down, and I started writing it around locations and things that we were kind of able to get. Of course, there were a lot of scenes in the movie that we weren't able to shoot because of our means, but we found a way around it to kind of compromise in there. And it took about 9 days to write the first draft of the script. After that, it took about another month of rewriting. The entire time we were rewriting, I was going through casting like crazy.
Philip posted online on all sorts of different websites, and he found, I think, 3,000 headshots that he went through, and he found the people that looked the most like the part, and then we did casting for a couple weeks. So we found all of our cast, mostly in Texas.
People were dedicated to an ideal. People wanted to work on the film because, you know, there aren't very many opportunities out here for filmmakers and for actors who are able to come together and make something fun and have a good time doing it.
Tiro Sanchez. Ready?
Come on, man.
Levántate, puto. That means get up.
The other Philip was, just getting all the equipment ready and getting everything, good to go. And because of technology today, with HD and, computers and such, everything came easy,
We need money.
Or, let's see. Everything we did on this film, I believe the film was actually shot in 10 days, on and off for 3 weeks. And so whenever we weren't filming, we were actually setting up for pre-production for the next day. So we're making our illegal bricks of cocaine. Stop! That's what I'm saying, stop.
Everything else like a special hair.
And by the way, it's real late already, and
It's 10:30, and we've been here since about 10:30.
yeah. Oh, dude, you're an idiot. I can't believe you just did that. Wow, this is not starting off too well. 2 kilos?
The vacuum has stopped working.
The budget of the film was $7,500, and it was originally a little bit lower, but we had to splurge, so it went up a little bit.
It's Christmas Day. This is one of our knives.
We were going to spend $2,500 on special effects and whatnot, and get planks, but we decided to
Buy a toy, make it look real for $130. Because of technology today, it allows for everybody that has a small budget to make a quality film. As long as you know what you're kind of doing, in a roundabout way.
So David pretty much said, do the best you can. That was probably the motto of this movie, is do the best you can in this short amount of time with no money. And the thing that we liked about shooting a no budget was you get to be creative. You can't just blow something up. So how do you work around that and make it just as or more entertaining? And so we had a lot of fun, having those kind of challenges.
About 3 seconds.
Not too much. I don't know what that means.
And action. Okay, cut real quick.
Arturo was nice enough to let us film at the loft, and it was a really complicated day because we had like 10 to 12 pages of a script to go through that day. We only had one day to do it in. Stand up more towards your screen. You're going to be grabbing it so I can have you framed over here a little better.
I'm trying not to laugh.
And we have a scene where Marcus, the guy who plays Caesar, gets shot, and we only have one shot at this. And we created it was Philip's idea. We created a beef blast, which was in essence a toilet plunger that used CO2 gas. Cut off the top of it.
What we did was we'd load beef and chocolate, the two things that I gave up last year.
There we go.
Test.
Perfect.
It's gonna shoot through my back. Hold on, let me see what the nozzle is. All right.
Ready?
Okay, I'm ready. And so we had to time that explosion with a shotgun explosion, with a light flash, with the camera, with it actually hitting him, all in one shot. We had one take to do it. And here you'll get to see how that actually cut together and how that worked.
Sometimes Philip wasn't the most accurate with the Beef Blaster 5000.
Blast. Gun. Blast. Perfect. Oh my God.
He actually nailed one of the guys in the lower midsection.
That's awesome. Are you ready to get up? Okay, when you get up, kind of turn over that way.
Hold on. What do you think about it?
Did that hurt?
In the nuts. That's great.
Here we go. Marcus, you're the man. The majority of our locations we had never seen before. We would show up on set and he would be like, "Here's your set," and we shot the entire film from our hip. I mean, Philip and myself, we'd walk around and go, "Well, how are we going to shoot this?" And we'd go through the story, and of course, I would have to change the script on set. Philip would have to change his shot sheet on set, and we'd have to figure out lighting.
The Ernesto scene was a lot of fun. We did a lot of Steadicam stuff, but mostly ended up choosing a lot of the stuff that was handheld.
Next when I'm blowing his neck.
And I need you now, forever. Whatever, I don't even.
The human jockstrap. Woo!
Jason and I were doing the take over and over again where he walks towards the camera. We did about 50 or 60 takes to get that right because we had to rack focus. So that ended up being one of my favorite shots, and it wasn't even planned originally.
Isn't that right? We gotta check to make sure we can't see that there's no blood on that knife right now. Oh, you just dodged Samson the homeless man.
We had people looking out their windows, you know, hearing all this screaming and wondering what's going on.
Yeah, that was good. You're gonna look that way, and you're gonna no, it's not what it looks like. You're gonna take off running. We need a shot of you sliding down the back, and then you're gonna duck down with them. So we're gonna have to have a couple shots to break those up. Is that good?
Justin did a lot of the special effects as well. He did that scene where Ernesto gets stabbed. He actually filled a glove, I think.
We're like making these packs of blood so that when this dude gets stabbed, it's nice and oozing out of his
You may
shirt.
want to brush.
What's your little cocktail consist of?
Chocolate syrup, red food coloring, and water. Put that in a latex glove with a sponge in it. Seal it off with a little tape over it. Magic.
Who needs squibs, right?
Movie magic.
Get that pack ready in about a minute.
Hey, how about 30 seconds, buddy?
We had an extra knife, this one, and for the stabbing, and we cut this completely off. So, you know, it looked like it was stuck inside him.
Such as Pee Wee Herman.
There's OJ right there.
Hey.
That's my favorite.
We got Hugh Grant.
Oswald, Charles
Robert Downey
Barkley.
Jr. is looking quite happy.
Nick Nolte after his drunk driving, so everyone knows. That's awesome. Oh, Dennis Hopper. I like Dennis Hopper.
Yep, we got a spider dolly in here, and definitely got the wide angle lens on.
And then sound, of course, was always a pain in the butt because there were always, problems as far as, the room wouldn't sound great. So we had to figure out a way to get the best quality sound.
A lot of times on the locations, there was hardly any room for me to mic it. I had the boom fully extended and was trying to run behind Philip Roy, the DP. There were many occasions which we kind of collided or tripped over each other and managed to keep the shot all right and keep the sound okay.
Sometimes we didn't have enough extras and we had to fill in some of our own crew for the extras. I know I had to do a scene in the butcher shop, and the DP actually had to do a scene, and we got him in drag, and you'll get to see some clips. And when you're watching the film and you see the buff woman, that's actually our DP, and he is a man. And
Another scene that was very crucial to the film was the prostitute scene, and we couldn't get any girls that were whorish enough, and for some reason everyone looked at me. Actually, we just didn't have anyone else, and so I decided, hey, I'll do it.
Look at that.
These lessons really sucking as far as trying to
About an hour later, they got all the makeup on and got me in my outfit. I think Philip bought it at Goodwill for me.
That is so pretty. That is so handsome.
My God.
Except for the legs. And the armpits.
I think I'll pass, sweetheart.
Can I buy those shoes from you?
Yes, leave it on there.
Where did he take them from? Oh my God.
We're shooting the hooker alley scene, as I like to call it, and that's where the strange man gets killed by Victor. I hope I didn't ruin that for anybody watching before they saw the movie, but right now we have a director of photography over here, and we ran out of hookers, so we had to put him in drag, and he kind of looks like Boy George and Tina Turner had some kind of weird transvestite love child, and there he goes, look at that. What's love got to do with it?
I know.
We are fixing.
We want them to be pretty, but we don't want the green to show.
Okay. 1 second, they're fixing up my...
Okay, scary pits.
Show me sexy. Show me sexy. Dirty girl, you dirty girl, you. Yeah. That's so gross.
They all call her Puta.
we shot the film on the Panasonic HVX 200, and the quality is amazing.
Philip and I have been talking about the look of the film for a while, and we wanted it to be really gritty, and HD was perfect for it, and that's why we got the Panasonic HVX 200, and that camera has been amazing. We shot it all on 1080 at 24p, and sometimes we'd shoot at 720 at 24p, and sometimes we'd change the frame rate at 720 to make things go in slow motion, which is revolutionary with this camera. The slow motion looks beautiful, and we'd actually zoom it in 150% to match that of the 1080. And the quality, you can't tell the difference. We use hard drives, just little P2 cards, and what we do is swap them out. We only had 2 4-gig cards. What we do is put one in, shoot what we needed while the other card was dumping, and we just switched, so it didn't take any time off of our shooting schedule. Whenever there's a death scene, there's almost always a green light somewhere or a green look to it. One of the challenges we had was trying to make this movie look like film, being with an HD camera. It was only a 1/3-inch chip, and we don't have the red rock, so we couldn't change lenses, so we had to use what we had. But that was fun, because that was one thing that we studied a lot in film class, was how do you make digital footage look like film. And I think we We achieved that to an extent. There's obviously, you know, some places where you just can't hide with depth of field.
The scene when the strange man got shot, we actually had no permits or anything to film this scene, and so what was happening was we actually shut down our own access road onto the highway. So the good thing was that there's a whole bunch of different counties inside San Antonio, and we had 2 separate counties pretty much trying to shut us down, and whenever one would show up, we'd tell them that the other one said it was okay, and whenever the other one would show up, we'd say the other one said it was okay. So we kind of got them in, a little bit of like a legal loophole.
They've been fermenting for about 6 or 7 hours now. Chocolate syrup and hamburger meat, just like Mama used to make.
Yeah, we can't afford squibs, so we're going to be throwing meatballs at our man Mingo here. And
he's thankful that we're not using the beef blaster either.
Yeah. You guys already saw what the beef blaster can do to a man, so we're using the meatballs.
It's 5:30 in the morning, and you've been on camera for what? Probably about 30 minutes total tonight?
Yes.
Has it been worth it?
Definitely. But I think I'm going a little delirious right now.
Definitely is a good answer. That's the right answer. I don't know if it'd be my answer, but...
This is what I want you to do. I want you to scream because you just saw him get shot. Someone hit some flash. You're going to be screaming at this flash gun, and he's going to turn the gun on you. You're going to stop. So you're going to freeze it.
Get in there, be quiet. Just stay down. Yeah.
After shooting since 5 yesterday or something like that.
Guess that's not.
Now the car is not working, and we're here, me and David, trying to fix it.
This is director's cam, and
I'm gonna go down a little bit. Yeah, go ahead.
the DP Philip Roy and our actor Billy Birch is spotting him. He
Okay.
they're trying to film this handheld on the roof. No safety net. Pretty long fall into the darkness if you can see anything down there.
I see a lot of batteries and switches.
If I knew what I was doing, we wouldn't have batteries and switches.
I didn't know we were in China.
We actually, we didn't even have bullets or anything. We actually had flares.
I had used these magna flashers as fireworks before, and they're really cool. They flash really bright and then they disappear. And so I decided if we use some PVC pipe, just connect it to the end of the gun and then stick it in and light it, it might flash out like a muzzle flash from a gun. And I did not know how well that would work, so we did some early tests, and it actually came out pretty cool.
We used a lot of flashes, a lot of sound effects, of course, to pull that together. And funny story is that mansion's not even there anymore, and we could have probably blown it up for free in the movie. So it just goes to show stuff you can get for free.
Wow. Okay.
Justin and we went outside to make wall explosions and little mini explosions. We had to be creative and try to find something, and of course, playing piano, I was a little nervous cutting into shotgun shells and pouring that into drywall, hoping that it's going to blow up. And what you get is just what you see.
Okay, guys. What happened?
Shooting a flame. Okay, where I'm from. Everywhere. Shooting shot at but not a man. Action! Action.
Chip you have on your shoulder.
This is the aftermath of 2 CO2 cartridge beef blasters that were packed with sheetrock.
This is Jason before we roll. Getting into character.
Gun. 1, 2. Gun. 1, 2. You have fun getting hit by bread and chocolate syrup?
Oh yeah. Made my nipples hard.
Oh yeah.
Great.
That looked pretty good, man.
You look like you got shot.
All I know is when I hit that, I was like, oh look good, I'm out.
And it was my first time actually miking on set, and I kind of grew up around microphones, and miking it was pretty basic. The real trick is knowing what you can take out of it later, and what I couldn't hide in sound editing I would cover up with music. Everyone wonders what goes into making a film score, and basically it's anything you can get your hands on. But in this particular situation, I had some old samples on a computer, and then of course I had an old rolling keyboard. You know, basically about $3,000 to $5,000 worth of equipment, and I cruised along. I tried to get the sound samples to sound right, the strings. I mean, they sound synthy as anything, and I tried to cover it up with reverb and things like that. But you know, you can only do so much. And a prime example of that is the Frank Suicide Scene is a perfect one. It's a strong orchestration at which I could get no live players for, and certainly couldn't get a good recording of it. So basically what goes into it is you know, using what sounds you have and being a master of your capabilities. I did about 4 different scores for the film total, and definitely most of the score you hear are the last tracks. I seldom went with the first ones I had. It was a great learning experience, and you know, writing 90 minutes of music is a task definitely worthy opponent to undertake. So
this is shooting day number 10, which I guess in Hollywood terms, whatever, that'd be about day 25. Yeah, we're shooting Leroy getting his fingers chopped off in the bathroom.
Another thing we did for special effects was in Javier's scene when Victor's cutting off his fingers. We used this knife right here, which we actually cut using a spinning stone that was my dad's. It looks like you're actually cutting through his finger.
We're not in San Antonio, we're technically in Garden Ridge, and the cops have nothing to do here, and so they like to start problems, and we have location agreements and such, so they really couldn't do shit about it.
We got you looks so we can winch it with this and be tight. Just pushing.
We ended up pulling, I think, 2 or 3 24-hour all-nighters into the next day of shooting, so we never got any sleep. When we did get sleep, we got about 3 hours, because Philip and I would, you know, be figuring out what we had to do for the next day.
Moving lights here and there and getting setups, and a lot of times we had to switch a lot of setups because we'd never even been to the location before.
And then Frank's death, we drove around. We didn't have a location for that, so we drove around, went downtown San Antonio on a Saturday night, found a good little street next to a church, and the church had power, so we borrowed a little bit of power, and were able to film that scene, and it turned out to be, and it's one of my favorites in the film. And nobody bothered us. You know, cops would ride by, they'd just, you know, look and, you know, kind of wave, and just, you know, a really nice attitude here in San Antonio. People aren't trying to stop you from work, and they want to see you succeed again.
I don't have any permits or anything, but we're going to do it anyway, and we're going to see how quickly we can get this done without the cops coming. Hopefully we can get by with another location without getting in trouble.
We only had 4 or 5 lights for the whole movie, our biggest light being 1K. So a lot of times we have to change lighting setups for close-ups, you know, and it was hard to get any kind of wide shots just because we didn't have big enough lights to do that.
50 with
And
another
the
blue
big
gel on
brother,
it.
The 1K.
And then we have the 1K. What are we doing? We're standing around.
I've been drinking and I want to be in a movie.
It was a crazy project. We were running around the whole time. Philip Guzman, the director, made it look easy. He seemed laid back the whole time, but we were running around like a bunch of ants, really.
Everything that could go wrong normally does go wrong, but things have been going right for some reason. I don't know.
We had a wonderful flow. There was a 3 or 4 man crew, and everybody worked really hard.
And it was nice, the crew that we had, especially having David Slate on his sound, because he and I worked real close together. And he was able to anticipate a lot of moves that I was doing when I was with Steadicam. You know, he was always watching where I was going and anticipating everything very well. Philip and I would be trying to figure things out. We might get a little frustrated, and David was always so positive, you know, that, you know, he made everything feels so much easier. Then we also had Blake, he did everything from graphic design. He designed the label of the Lawless. He did the documentary camera. He was one of the grips. He did PA. He did transportation. He was helped with gaffing. He did a lot of different things. And then there was Justin McMurtry. He was definitely a big help. That guy would do anything you wanted. Whatever you wanted to do, he'd do it. He was very committed to what he did, and we couldn't have done it without Justin either. He was always there when we needed him. He was a grip as well, gaffer, electrician. Philip as director did a great job as well. He was real calm and collected most of the time, and I was trying to think of how I'm going to shoot this and how we're going to do this and worrying about a lot of different stuff. And he was really calm about it most of the time, so that helped ease me out as well. He would always work with them on their lines and say, if you feel like your character wouldn't say this, then he'd let them create what their character would say, and he'd say, yeah, he'd agree or disagree. Together as a team, with Philip working with me and David, everyone's different talents and characteristics actually meshed together really well to make this film. We actually all live together right now and are working on other films as well, and working all together, and we found our different talents and our different characteristics. Now we complement each other in areas where others are weak, and that's kind of made us, I guess, two productions, pretty much me, Philip, and David Slate.
The final scene, the warehouse, where Anna is running around and Victor comes to save her, we got that like maybe a day beforehand, and that's I think about 14 pages in the script, and we shot it all in about 7 hours. So it's just that's all the time we had to do. It's all the time we had for our actors, and it was running and gunning and figuring out where people were going, and a lot of one takes and we're done. Right here, pretty much, she's gonna run through this room first. You guys again, you're gonna be looking this way, you're gonna come over here. Hi. Moves fast.
Bring it on, bring it on.
We could have had a good partnership.
I'm rolling. Action.
Close your eyes.
I'll be alright, just hit me.
I know you're gonna come out. Maybe don't close your eyes, just in case.
You call action and we'll do 1, 2, bang.
I'm rolling in action.
1, 2.
Oh my god.
1, 2.
I told you you're aiming too far to the wall. It's hitting with the elbow. This is okay. This is okay. Shot him in the arm. You didn't kill him. Just took off the back of it.
Hey, Philip.
Director. Yeah.
You just helped me get dental insurance. I appreciate it. I think there's a couple teeth that are loose.
Let me build it out.
Oh my god.
Come on!
So I guess we figured out the ending.
Amigas.
It just kind of looks like this.
We've got to get you, toss her this way or something. So, let me see you over this way. You got to face towards the camera for me. Filming in Texas. We filmed the entire movie in and around the San Antonio area, and it was a treat because everybody was so accommodating. People want to see you succeed, and when they ask you like, "Oh, what are you doing?" You're like, "Oh, just trying to make a movie." People just kind of like go, "Oh, well, that's nice." They just kind of shrug it off, whatever. But at the same time, they're not saying no, you're not going to do it. They're just saying good luck with that. And the locations were like really nice because there were a lot of the places here in San Antonio were untouched. Nobody has really shot anything here except for like the Alamo, and that's a period piece on the set. So we had a lot of really cool. Everything you see in this movie, I mean, none of it is studio. Everything you see, the real locations that we had to deal with real people to get these locations. And I'd say about 95% of everything you see there was given to us for free. People bent over backwards to help us out, and when they saw the finished product, they were all pleased and they were happy. You know, it was their film as well, and it is their film as well. We were able to get what we were able to get, and that's what the final product came out to.
That's nuts.
In your mouth.
I don't know. You got chin up.
Depends on, you know.
I don't like having that on me. I'm getting really angry. Thank you. Okay, guys, what we need to do.
They'll be like, look, he's got a camera. He's got a camera. Let's put him in a movie. I want to be in a movie. Hey, you over there. You guys making a movie?